We're about to talk about a game that's actually been released, so it's like we're sailing off to the sunset in a nice, relaxed environment here. And well, could you just tell us a little bit, first of all, what the journey? Sorry about all these word puns, but what the journey's been like with Black Flag from when you got started designing the game.
It started a bit more like 2 years ago, and the origin is when we saw that AC3 was developing this naval component and it was really promising. We decided to push and try to make a game that would take advantage of it. And one of the big boss of the Assassin's Creed franchise, he loves pirates. So he said, hey, look, we have ships, I love pirates, let's go pirates. And then there's been, I would say, 6 months of development of a very small team where they thought about how they would connect the Assassin's Creed with the Pirates team. And it's been done by Jean-Sebastien Decant, the creative director, who has been on the team for ages, so he knows very well Assassin's Creed, and by Darby McDavid and Mustafa Marak, so the screenwriter and the level designer lead. And they thought about how they would build that game and how they would really fuse the Pirate theme with the Assassin's Creed. And then I would say that it was quite a smooth production, which is kind of
crazy to say, right?
Yes, it was really kind of a smooth production. Of course, there are some moments that are a bit rough. Of course, there was a lot of pressure in order to deliver a great game and ensure that Assassin's Creed could still be loved by the widest audience possible. So a lot of stress on that side, but a smooth production.
And even though you had next-gen consoles to think of as well.
Yes, but you know, when you start and you don't even know the specs or what they're gonna do, you don't think about that, or you're gonna be sick. So we thought about next-gen graphics, and in order to explore that, we used the high-end PCs on the side, and then we continued just what we started with the previous games and build upon that. And I think next-gen is going to be for the next games. Next games are going to be much more on the next-gen side. This one is really on the edge.
So if you would, where do you think that the difference in that sort of that extra step, where do you think that will involve?
I think we're going toward a gaming place where the open world will be shared with other players more and more, socially speaking, but also maybe through multiplayer stuff. And we will have to consider the open world much more like a platform that we could sustain from years to years.
Sort of like what's happening with Watch Dogs, for instance, where it's a little bit like that.
Absolutely, Watch Dogs is kind of showing us the path for the future. Yes, absolutely. But we have to create we have to respect our brands. So if we have to go that way with Assassin's Creed, we have to think about how it could fit into Assassin's Creed.
Interesting, but yeah. Let's stick with Black Flag for now. I have plenty of questions for Assassin's Creed 5 or whatever you call it. No.
It's the sixth one. It's the sixth, yes.
So, and the next one is going to be called whatever they want to call it.
Absolutely. Assassin's Creed. Aha.
But if we look at Black Flag, it brought in a few new things. But do you feel like, because some of the critics and the reviews say that the assassin gameplay is very similar to what it's been like. Do you feel like you've reached a point where it is the way you want to, or do you feel like maybe next you want to refresh that sort of core assassin gameplay of assassinations and jumping and running and free running?
Well, the core pillars are still social stealth, being able to blend into the crowd and finding a way to reach your target without being seen. There is this idea of having the parkour, you can jump around, and then the notion of freedom that combines everything. These are the roots of Assassin's Creed. We will try to work and build upon them. I cannot tell you that we're happy and this is how we want the game to be and we're going to do 10 more games with exactly that same gameplay. No, we are unhappy, we want to do more, there's lots of things we want to refine on the combat side, on the parkour, on the stealth. Of course, we managed to I think bring back the stealth in Assassin's Creed, which was something that was a bit put on the side in the previous episodes. So on that we're very happy, and I think we also kind of totally exploded the limits of the game by bringing the naval and the ship customization and the ship battles. So we made progress thanks to the thematics that we chose. Next time we need to find thematics that will help us also expand the game once again.
Do you feel that because Black Flag is a little bit of a step, of course you sort of ended the first trilogy, and it's do you feel like there's more freedom in choosing your theme now? Maybe the rules are a little bit looser, so to speak, even though they were kind of loose before as well.
Oh, I think no. I think actually that we realized that history was our playground, and we really now are beyond Desmond and the story of Ezio and Altair. So where could we go to make it even more appealing for more people? And what are the chapters in history that are really that we're concerned about, that could be really resonate for the whole planet? So that's where we go. I don't think we're corrupting what was there before. I think it was quite open already. Seriously, when you say history is our playground, you actually can go anywhere at any time.
So I suppose there's going to be more content coming to Black Flag. Are you talking about any of that yet now, or?
But it's been announced. We have the Freedom Cry, I think, the DLC that has been developed by Quebec, where Adewale, the quartermaster from the ship in this game, who at some point has an adventure on the side, and this is this adventure. So that's the main, I would say, story-related DLC. Then there is a lot of content for the multiplayer, but I don't know the details exactly.
It's what you'd expect with the kind of more maps and things like that. Because it is, I mean, that's one of the interesting things about Assassin's Creed. Every Assassin's Creed is like a big puzzle of collaboration. So you're doing one thing, someone else doing another thing, and it all comes together. How is that sort of role for you, and how does that differ in sort of more traditional game development?
10 years ago, we could do a full-fledged game with 30 people, 40 people. Then, with the current generation, we quickly got to 300, 400, 500, hundreds of people getting together. Already managing people under the same building to make the same game is a feat. You need to have a strong direction, and you need to have a strong core team in order to lead all the people. After that, in fact, working with external studios is quite similar. It's just that then you have difference in culture, which sometimes is a bit tricky, and time zones difference, which makes sometimes the evenings a bit tricky, or the mornings. But seriously, once we manage to find ways to coordinate 500 people under the same roof, it's kind of the same process to work with all the other people.
But the sort of the franchise will sort of stay under Ubisoft Montreal control, so to speak. That's the idea, or
that's
like the leadership is.
That's where the brand is, yes. But that doesn't mean that we're going to share more and more big parts with other studios. I mean, already for this one, we worked with the studio in Bulgaria. We worked with Singapore, Annecy in France, Quebec. They did a lot. So, and there are other studios, but in terms of content, these 4 studios, they delivered at least 50% of the content.
I guess that is really around-the-clock game development, because with the time zones, even though people weren't crunching, there was somewhere in the world someone was always working on Assassin's Creed, right?
Yes, absolutely. Yes. Always. Right.
So, best of luck with Assassin's Creed, whatever it is. And thanks for stopping by.
Thank you.